story. You are your story. And so if you know that you're your story, you can make adjustments to it. You can change it. You can shift it. This is day one of the identity audit. And with day one, we're talking about your story. I've got a slew of notes that we're going to talk about today. You are your story, but that's okay because you can change your story. You operate from that story. You live from that story. You experience from that story. You love from that story. You eat from that story. You breathe from that story. You condition your day from that story. You plan your day or don't plan your day from that story. Your experiences come from that story. That is how important your story is. This is day 1 of 5 identity audit, about 45 to 50 minutes. All this week and into next week, we're going over this. Subscribers, you're going to get a full PDF, about a 20-page PDF, including a challenge that you can go through. You can do that with your June challenge. But subscribers, you'll get that. You'll get the written form, including my notes. Non-subscribers, become one. If you don't want to become a subscriber, stick around 6 a.m. You're going to get a ton of valuable information. So today's the first day. We're talking about identity audit, the story that's running your life. In a few minutes, I'm going to turn my notes around and I'm going to go over a few things. But there's 3 key points I want to share with you today. One is you don't need a new life. You need a new story about it. You don't need a new life. You need a new story about who you are in this life. I spent so many years doing a great job, doing a job that I wasn't necessarily crazy about, but I still did it. It aligned with my education, my degree in finance, my master's degree in business administration, my love for investments. It aligned with that. That's a job. That's not my identity. My identity was always pulling me towards these kind of conversations, having heartfelt, detailed, forward progress conversations with individuals. I love reading self-help books. I have always loved reading, and I've centered around books that help me be a better me, help me learn techniques and tips and tools, help me process what's going on in this noggin, help me look back at yesterday and see how it shaped my today. And knowing that information, I can set up today so it'll shape my ideal quality of life tomorrow. That's what I do. That's who I am. And so part of my identity is based on me operating in my assignment. My assignment is to plant seeds. What kind of seeds? Seeds just like this. Period. That's not a vocation. That's not a job. That's not a title. That is an energetic me. That is my identity. And so today, all this week, we're talking about identity audit because some of you have been operating in an identity that does not allow you the growth that you seek. Some of you have been operating in an identity that leaves you stuck, that leaves you frustrated, that leaves you overwhelmed, that leaves you consistently operating in survival mode, not thriving mode. That leaves you saying no to great opportunities and yes to the same old mundane things. They don't serve you. You know they don't serve you. But then some of you are also have the identity of, I can help everybody else, but I can't help myself. I can tell my best friend the most amazing advice, but I can't give it to myself. It's an identity. It's an identity that you've taken on and quite frankly, you enjoy it. You like saying it. You like being the go-to person. You get something from it. But when it comes to the go up for you, you like being the go-to for others. But when it comes to the go up for you, you stay small. You stay lacking. You stay less than. Because you need to have somebody that you can blame when you get that first no. The path forward will require a slew of no's. Who are you in the no's? Who are you in the rainy season? Who are you in the season of famine? That's who you are. That's who you are. And so I spent a lot of time talking about identity. And I want to give you the definition of that. Identity is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. Identity. We have a lot of that. What do you identify as? Identity. I'm talking about the identity for who you are, because that's what's deciding where you go. The identity that you attach to yourself is so critically important. It decides the quality of your life. It decides the quality of your life. The fact of being who or what a person or thing is. Some of you have labeled yourself by your disability. I'm ADHD, or I'm this, or I'm that. And so you haven't even allowed the space for the identity to, or the aspect of you to exist in an identity chosen by you, said by you, stated by you. This is why I love to hear the stories. I think recently Holly Robinson Peete shared her son won an award. Her son is autistic. And he talks about how the doctor said he wouldn't do this. And the people around him said he couldn't do this and wouldn't do this. But his parents said, I think you can. I believe you can. And we're going to position you in a space where you can. And he said, I did. They said I wouldn't get a job. I've been working here for 10 years. They said I wouldn't do this, and I've done this. They said is an identity, and we're going to shift that. So all this week, we're talking about an identity audit. We're looking at who you are, who you say you are, who you operate as, and the gap between who you say you are, what you want to experience, and who you must become to be that experience. Who you say you are, who you say you are, what you want to experience, the quality of life, and who you must become. Because you don't get what you want, you get who you are. That's how you close the gap. So if somebody wants to know, how do I close the gap between where I am and what I want? The answer to that is a question. Who are you? Who must you be to be the you living that quality of life, that goal, that dream, that wish, that want? Who must you be to live that? What is the identity you must assume, you must take on, you must become to be that you? Most of y'all want to be a millionaire. There's a saying that I love. If somebody gives you $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire. If somebody gives you $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire. Somebody gives you a healthy, whole, happy mate. You better hurry up and become a healthy, happy, whole you. Because your wounds, your infected wounds will bleed on the person who came to love you through them. If you want to be, if you've been handed $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire. Y'all, we've been handed something a million times better than $1 million. We've been handed life. We've been handed this ride, this journey in this present moment. You've been handed life. You didn't earn it. You can't earn it. It was given to you. Grace gave you existence. Grace gave you existence. You were given something way greater than $1 million. Given you. Grace gave you existence. So you better hurry up and become. Become grace. Become a person who strives for greater, but loves and celebrates who you are right now. Become a person who wants something higher, but celebrates and appreciates all the aspects of you. Become somebody who realizes and recognizes the fact that you are human is an incredible, remarkable gift. It is evidence that you are enough. It is evidence that you are worthy, period. So if somebody gives you $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire. Otherwise, the million will cease to be. It won't exist. It won't be enough. You won't have fun with it. You won't be able to experience I'm a millionaire. It's the same thing with your life. Somebody somewhere, somehow, higher than you, higher than me, gave you life, gave it to you, gives it to you every morning. If you got up this morning and you can breathe and your heart is beating, you were given a gift. I'm 52 years old. I'm 52 years old. If I were to multiply 52 times 365, that's how many gifts I've been given in this thing. I ought to know this thing. I ought to recognize that it's grace that gave me this. I ought to stand tall in the grace that I have the ability, the wherewithal, long as my heart is beating and my lungs are functioning. I ought to stand in my grace, stand in my gift. This is a 5-day identity audit. And today we're specifically talking about the story that's running your life. I'm going to turn this around because I want you to see my notes. But 5 days in a row I'll be here. This is day 1, 6 a.m. Tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. If you missed this or you just got in, become a subscriber because you'll get all 5 days, plus the workbook attached to it. Yes, good morning. So the story, I've talked about story for so long, I even made an acronym about story. Let me just show it to you right quick. It's a story, y'all. When I learned that it was the story that kept me stuck, not the external situation, circumstances, it completely shifted my life. When I learned that it's the story that I'm telling me that has me stuck or disappointed or sad or frustrated or any of the feelings and experiences that I don't want to feel. Now, again, you get sick. You don't want to experience the feeling of sickness. Of course not. But there's still a story within that sickness. I remember, I will tell you this, and it's the most beautiful thing I ever seen. And regardless of what you feel about her, don't focus on who it was. Focus on the story. Hold on. I'll never forget this. And every so often I'll go Google or go on YouTube and look at it. It was many, many years ago, and I used to watch King. I can't remember his first name. On CNN, Larry King. I used to watch Larry King live. I loved it. He was such a great interviewer. And many, many years before that, when I remember watching the PTL, the Praise the Lord station, and with the televangelist. And I remember Tammy Faye Baker. Again, this isn't about her religion. This is about the story. I remember Tammy Faye Baker. And, if you all have ever seen her before, she was a little chubby thing. She wore all this beautiful makeup, over-the-top makeup, eyes, hair, just completely over the top. I don't care what you say. She seemed to love the Lord. But anyway, I was watching Larry King, and it had been, I watched her when she was on Big Brother or one of those things. And anyway, she had been diagnosed with cancer. And so on one of her last interviews, she was on Larry King, and she was, I don't know, a shell of a person of that she was. She still had on all that makeup, but she literally looked like what I would imagine the Grim Reaper, if the Grim Reaper took off its helmet, looked like that. And so, but she had on all her makeup, she could barely talk. And she was a shell of who she was, probably 45, 50. I think she was 63 pounds. I think he asked her. And she knew the end was near, very near. Matter of fact, I think she passed a week or so after that interview. She knew it was coming. But he was talking to her, and he said something to the effect of, what do you want to hear or something? And she was like, I can't wait to have a cheeseburger. I don't know why, but that just grabbed my soul. We are one blood test away from a life-altering health scare? We don't know. We don't know. I've got to go in 2 weeks to find out some things about my own life. We don't know. And so why are we waiting until a health scare to start to have an identity shift? I'm telling you, if you start to look at right here, right now, this moment, these situations, these circumstances, this right here, right now, as a gift, as a treasure to behold, you will change your life. You will change your life. And that's an identity. Do you have the identity of one who's grateful? Do you have the identity as one who is grateful or as one who complains? Do you have the identity that if you woke up this morning breathing, your mind was thinking, you tasted that first sip of coffee if you drink coffee, I drink water in the morning. Are you able to recognize the gift of that? Yeah, you might be going to a job you don't like. Yeah, you might be laying beside somebody you don't like. Yeah, you might be in a housing situation you're not crazy about. But have you taken on the identity of the complainer? Or have you taken on the identity of one who's grateful because that person knows you know the power that you have, the power of perspective, the power that just like that your life can shift? It's an identity, and we're talking about an identity audit. So the story, I use the acronym STORY, stuck tails operating our reality as yesterday's woes. Stuck tails operating our reality, our right now, as yesterday's woes, because that's what it is. Let me turn this around because I want you to see some of the shifts. I want to give you the notes. I want to ask you some questions because this is just day 1 of 5. Day 1, we're talking about the story that's running your life, because I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. I don't care what you study. Same thing with me. Same thing with everybody. There's a story running your life, friend. There's a series of stories that are running your life and running you ragged if you keep letting it. Running you ragged. How do you know? What are you saying? I remember Mama used to say this. I remember this. It's a story running your life. Running or ruining. Here's the thing. Is your current story running or ruining? It's running no matter what. But is it ruining? When is the last time you looked in the mirror and said, thank you? Thank you for my existence as a human. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my big old Johnson forehead. Thank you for my moles. Thank you for my facial imperfections. Thank you for my meat suit. Thank you for my voice. Thank you for just existing. When is the last time you said that? Not thank you because I got my paycheck. Not thank you because my spouse is fine. Not thank you because they recognize me or I got the promotion. But thank you for existing. When I woke up, good. Because I want to tell you something. Your life begins to shift when you operate from the identity of thank you. Thank you is an identity. Thank you is an identity. Now, here's the thing. For people that are saying every morning, I do it every morning. Let me ask you this. When is the last time you said thank you when a calamity occurred? When a circumstance that didn't align with what you wanted to happen? When a disappointment presented itself? When you didn't get the job, you didn't get the promotion? When you didn't get the man, you didn't get the woman, you didn't get the whatever. You scratched off the lottery ticket and it said 0. When's the last time? Because I'm here to tell you, I'm here to show you, I'm here to demonstrate, I'm here to be a walking, talking testimony of the power of circumstance-driven gratitude. Now, hear me when I say that. Not circumstance based on it went good, based on the green light, but circumstance also based on the red light. Because quite frankly, circumstances are neutral. The identity with which we operate assigns a value to the circumstance. The identity with which we operate assigns a value to a circumstance. The identity with which you operate assigns an identity to a circumstance. So circumstance is neutral. You assign a meaning for it. They didn't call me back. Oh, they playing. Men ain't nothing. Women ain't nothing. I didn't get the meeting. Well, so maybe they don't value me. They don't see my worth. I don't know if I'm good enough. You assign that based on a story, based on being fed by the identity within you. You're that powerful. You will always be that powerful. And as soon as you get that in your soul and recognize your power, you can start operating from it. You can start using it. You can start using it. I'm just checking the time because I'm going to hold steadfast to an hour. The next 5 days are 1 hour lives focusing on a specific. Overall, it's an identity audit. But the next 5 days are going to be focused on something specific. And again, today is the story. I want to beat inside the power of the story because that's what I want to talk about today. That's what you need to get today. Because once you get that, we can shift to the next thing. I posted on my page the 5 days and what we're going to cover. And so you have that 5 days this week, all this week. The rest of this week and into Monday, we're talking about this. Let me just pull up my notes because I want to just quickly for a second tell you the 5 days. Bear with me just a moment. It's in my, so today's the story you're living. Tomorrow's the words that you use, reiterating what we're talking about today. Day 3 is the behavior audit. The behavior, the old me, the old story versus this me. Day 4 is the emotion gap. Oof, can't wait to day 4. And then day 5 is declare your identity shift. All this week. So stick around. And I'm giving it to you. This isn't behind. You didn't have to pay to show up today. You just had to get up at 6 o'clock and log in. All this week is 6 o'clock. Now you want to watch the replay, become a subscriber because the subscribers will get this replay, get every single one of these plus the PDF 21-day challenge, all of my notes in a form that they can read, something that you can hold on to. So again, today we're talking about identity shift. All week identity shift, day 1 of 5. Today is the story that's been running your life. My story, everybody's story runs their life. But I don't have mine set on ruin. I got mine set on run. Run, man, run. Run. And run includes rest. Don't get it twisted. Run includes rest. Rest ain't a bad word for me. Rest is a critical, necessary step. Matter of fact, the more rest I get, the more adequate rest I get, the better I am. I went to bed early last night because I knew I was going to be here. I knew I couldn't wait to get in this 5 days. So I went to bed a little early. Spouse is recovering from knee surgery. So a couple of times I didn't get up. I said, "You okay?" "I'm okay." I said, "Good. I got one eye open, making sure you don't fall, but I'm laying here getting my rest." All right, folks. So again, identity shift. This is one of my favorite lessons to teach. This is one of my favorite curriculum to teach, identity, because it is you. It is you. So I'm going to turn this around in the last, it's only 6:30. I'm doing good. Let me pause for a question that someone asked. How long does it take to change your identity? Stop looking at the clock. Like once you say, okay, now how long? You know what? How long does it take you to change your identity? How long you been staying in the same identity? Stop looking at the clock. You know what happens with a watch clock? It doesn't ever appear to move. Stop looking at the clock. Stop looking at the clock. That's how long it takes. When you stop looking at the clock and looking at the work, you shift. You think there's not a blanket thing that says, okay, for all of humanity, when somebody decides to change their identity, it takes 23 hours, 14 minutes, and 7 seconds. It doesn't exist, friend. How long does it take? Is you operating from an identity that says, I don't want to waste my time with this. It takes too long. It's too hard to do. You are revealing your identity in your questions. Your questions reveal your existing identity. And guess what? When your questions reveal your identity, they also reveal your behavior. And when they reveal your behavior, they also reveal your results. See, this is what I love about this platform, about this space, because I get to coach you right in the moment. I can assure you that you have a track record of asking how long. You have a track record of saying, this is taking too long. You have a track record of saying, I don't want to waste my time. You have a track record of saying, I don't think this is working. You have a track record of saying, I don't want to put in all this money or all this time or all this energy or all this effort or all this because it might not work out. I can guarantee you have a track record of that. That's the identity that you've taken on. So the quick win for you is take that statement, how long does it take? And I want you to marry this moment with it. Every time I ask how long it takes, I'm strengthening the neural pathway of an identity of someone who watches the clock and not moves in motion. You watch the clock, but you don't move in motion, because when you move in motion, you don't even see the clock. You don't even recognize the clock. You don't even realize the clock is ticking. I've been talking for 32 minutes, and the only reason why I know it's 32 minutes because I have a hard ending at 7 a.m. So I'm intentionally keeping an eye on it. I bet you the language with which you often speak is what I just described. Quick win. How long does it take? Write it on a piece of paper. Every time you say that, you write down, I'm identifying with a version of me that never gets to the finish line. I am identifying with a version of me that never gets to the finish line. So now I'm going to change my language. I'm going to change my question. I'm going to ask, instead of me asking how long does it take, what today might I do to get closer to the finish line? Instead of asking how long it takes, what today might I do to position myself closer to the finish line? How long does it take is an identity of a me that never crosses the finish line. So when it comes up, I recognize it, I refute it, I dismiss it, and I step into the new identity, the one that says, I'm going to show up, period. I know it's worth it, because whenever I get to the finish line, I'm changing every yes I make in the direction of the finish line. I'm changing in every time I say yes and move in the direction of the finish line. Turn my notes around. I ain't even showed you my notes yet. Good evening, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited about this. One of my favorite lessons to teach. 5 days identity audit. You got to know who you are. And I know people walk around, I know who I am. You know who you are until you get hit in the face. As Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face. You see, circumstances in life hit something. Yes, we all have a knee-jerk reaction, but what happens after the knee stops jerking? Do we drop the knee and just be a jerk? Or do we recognize, wait a minute, who am I? How might this me show up in this moment? How might this me process the moment for forward progress? How might that me do so? I done told you, I done promised you my notes for 10 minutes. I'm going to keep my promise. All right, so today's June 5th. We're talking about, let me pull this down some. We're talking about the story that's running your life. We're talking about the story that's running your life. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a story problem. Oh, I need more motivation. You need a story. Remember, a story is stucktails operating our reality as yesterday. You need a new story, because guess what? 3 things I want you to know. You don't need a new life. You don't need a new life. You need a new story about who you are in this one. You don't need a new life. You need a new story about who you are in this one. This the life you get. This the life you got. This the body you're in. This the time space you're in. You don't need a new life. You can't get one anyway. You can't go to the store and get a new life. You don't need a new life. You need a story about the life you're in. I want y'all to get this. The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question, because it's running your life. It's ruining your life. The belief you never question. Y'all say, I'm going to give you some beliefs in a moment. And if you don't question them, that's the most dangerous belief. You're not stuck. You're loyal to a script that's expired. Y'all out here drinking expired milk. Got a stomach ache every day. Can't stand it. Your stomach bloated. Your burps stink. You stink. Drinking spoiled up milk every day. You see the expiration date and you're like, yeah, but I don't know if I want to go to the store because the store might have expired milk too. The store might have expired milk too. So I don't know if I want to get in the car. What if I get in the car and the car breaks down? I don't know if I want to do that. So, if I put a little extra sugar in this milk, it might not be so bad. And then you drink it, you put it in your cereal, you eat it, your stomach hurt, and you feel terrible, you feel awful, you're mad, you're miserable. And guess what you do in the morning? Reach for the spoiled milk again. Reach for the spoiled milk again. And then complain about your stomach hurt. Complain about your existence. Complain that it's stuck. Because you've stuck in the identity. Anyway, y'all. Yikes. Yep. So here's some stories disguised as these throwaway phrases, but they're really stories. I'm not good enough. Remember, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do like church. I'm going to do a call to action. I'm not good enough. And then I'm going to go to this point. So when you walk around talking about I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm too much, or nothing I do is right, or it has to be perfect. I talked to somebody yesterday who said it has to be perfect. I said, great. What's perfect? Define perfect for me in this specific situation that you're wanting to do. Crickets. Couldn't define it. You talking about the criteria that you have to have for you to go forward is perfection, and you can't describe perfection. Because you know what? The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question. The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question. Some of y'all been walking around for years saying, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm good enough. You're staying in the story. The stuck tail operating your reality is yesterday's pain, yesterday's experience, yesterday when your dad was in a bad mood and you was 5 or 6 years old and he told you that's stupid, or he said that's dumb, and you've been carrying that same story. My daddy, my mama, my teacher, my auntie, my granddaddy, my somebody, a stranger on the street told me I was stupid, and I'm living that story. One opinion is your identity. That's a lie. We're ending that. We're reducing that. We're eliminating that. We're telling a new story. We're telling a new story. Because the dangerous belief you carry, the most dangerous, is the one you never question. These are all stories disguised as these little throwaway phrases. Oh, I'm the queen of perfection. I'm the queen of procrastination. Oh, I'm better at the last minute. I might fail. And then that's the end of the story. What does failure mean? I have to be strong. I have to be the strong one. That nobody helps the strong one. I'm afraid of change. It's too risky. It's too risky. Say y'all drinking that spoiled behind milk. Talking about it's too risky. Meanwhile, your stomach hurting, bubbling, swole up, you're sick. You're going to the doctor trying to figure out what's wrong with you because you keep drinking that spoiled behind milk. You keep drinking that spoiled behind milk. You keep living that spoiled up life. That thing that doesn't serve you, you keep running to it every day. That man that don't serve you, that woman that don't serve you, you keep running up under her, running up under him every night, hoping something change, shifting something, telling yourself, it must be me. It must be me. This must be how I am. You're sitting up there living under the story that somebody told you a long time ago. Drinking up spoiled milk, sick as a dog. Instead of standing in the moment and questioning that moment, you're trying to do everything else. You run into the store buying a bunch of clothes. Maybe that'll help. You're over here doing this. You're doing all these things. You're looking all around. I said this the other day. It's not, sometimes we talk about fear of failing. What it really is fear of feeling. Fear of feeling. You heard it almost came out. But I had to remember I'm on these people's internet. I'm on Instagram. I'm not on my Zoom. When you come to my Sunday Zooms as a subscriber, it ain't PG. It's R. I speak. I cuss. I like to curse. I do. I like them words. I say them words. But when I'm on them other people's internet, I don't own that Instagram. So I got to G it. But y'all get the point. You get the point. Drinking spoiled milk every day and experiencing the results of that spoiled milk. Your stomach hurting, you're bloated, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're dissatisfied. When all you got to do is go to the store. The store might not have, what if the store don't have the milk? That's an identity you take on. Go to another store. And yes, I'm using a very simplistic example. I'm using that for a reason, because you don't like the job. Okay. What is it about the job that you don't like? A lie you're telling yourself. Here's what I've been hearing lately. The paycheck is a bribe to get you to sell out your dreams. And y'all are walking around thinking that's bars. Bars! A paycheck is a bribe to get you to sell out your dreams. No, it ain't. You know how many people are operating and doing their 9 to 5 and living their dreams? Because guess what? As soon as you quit that 9 to 5 job, you ain't going to wake up the next day operating in your dreams. Your job is 8 hours. You got 16 more. You got double time. Stop telling yourself that lie. The job is the bribe that stops me from living my dreams. No, you the bribe. The story you're telling yourself. I used to tell myself that, and then I quit my good job. And a month later with no paycheck, I didn't have no creativity, no drive, no desire. I was wrapped up with fear because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a strategy. My identity was one who talks a good game but don't show up and do a doggone thing. Talk a good game, but don't show up and do a doggone thing. I was that person on the phone in them late night conversations. Oh, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do? I'm gonna do this. And the other person, I'm gonna do this. And then when we get in the closed door, I'm running for my life. I ain't know that thing too big. Running for my life. I forgot this is date. This is morning time. Let me do right. Identity. Talk a good game. Some of y'all talk a good game. But what's your evidence? Who are you? So here's the questions. Here's some questions that I want to share with you. I've given you the definition of identity. The brain, let me give you some science behind this. The brain seeks familiar over progress. It's how we're wired. It's this procrastination, this lack of persistence, lack of resilience, this perfectionism. All of those are tactics the brain uses to keep you safe because it has identified unknown as unsafe. So the brain's job is to keep you safe. If you understand that, you stop running down this rabbit hole of why I need to discover what makes me procrastinate. I could tell you what it is. The brain says that thing you're doing feels unsafe. It's because it's unfamiliar. If you can help me understand that it's safe, I can roll you into this. Y'all, I had the idea to teach this less than 24 hours ago. This that I'm teaching you, I had the idea less than 24 hours ago. And then I went on Canva and created a little a graphic, and then I posted it on my TikTok, posted it on my threads. Forgot to post it on YouTube, posted it on Instagram. Sat down, because I know this stuff inside and out. Sat down and broke it into 5 days, wrote everything out, put it out, and then went to bed last night and woke up this morning before you. When you have my identity, the identity, and again, remember the definition of identity. Let me bring it back up. Remember the definition of identity that I gave you. Hold on, because I want you to get this. The definition of identity is the fact of being who or what a person is. The fact decided by you. The fact of being who or what a person is. So this is why I live the foundational agreement regarding identity. Grace. Something, somewhere, somehow said, bring her forth. Bring her forth. Period. I didn't earn it. I can't earn it. I didn't do something amazing to get it. It was given to me. It is a gift to be in existence. That's a foundational agreement with which I live. So I don't have, yes, things come up. Do I have a bad day? Do I have a bad moment in the day? Yes, I'm a human being. I feel all the feelings. We all do. But what do you do with it? What do you do with it? It hits my foundational agreement that I'm a human being. Somebody, somewhere, somehow, some way said, bring her forth. So if I operate from that, I operate in gratitude. And I think about Tammy Faye Baker. And near the end of her life, all she wanted to do was be able to eat a cheeseburger. And she said, I can't wait till I get to heaven so I can eat a cheeseburger. You got to start paying attention to the language that you speak, the words you use, the specific words. Earlier in this conversation, someone said, how long does it take? That's language. That's a phrase. I gave you a list of phrases because guess what? I'm going to turn this around because I like for you to see my wording here. The default language equals your unconscious programming. So yes, it's unconscious, it's happening automatically, but if you have the conscious awareness to pay attention to the words that you speak. See, the best thing that you could do for yourself is tell yourself, what's your dream? The best thing you can do for yourself is ask this question. What's my dream? It could be dream job, dream spouse, dream work environment, dream home, dream whatever. What's my dream? Just ask yourself, what's my dream? And then be quiet. Do you go into describing the dream, or do you go into all the reasons why the dream can't happen? Do you go into the describing the dream initially, and then you start negotiating it, talking yourself out of it? I hear people say all the time, I say, what's your dream? As far as income, what's your dream? And somebody says, well, shoot, I'd love to be a millionaire. But you know, it's going to be so much on taxes. Or, yeah, I'd love to be a millionaire, but you know, in this economy, there you go. I'd love to be a millionaire, but I mean, they say more money, more problems. Boom. So you're talking yourself out of your dream. Talking yourself. Yep. Start talking yourself out of it. You're not alone. You're not alone, Lacey. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm teaching this, because I want you to have the identity that talks yourself into, not even talks yourself into, but creates a receiving space for it. Creates a receiving space for it. The old default, talking yourself out of it because maybe it doesn't feel safe. So you teach yourself to make it safe. Simple. What's your dream? A mansion, and it's safe for me to live in that mansion. What's your dream? $1 million, and it's safe for me to have $1 million. Pay attention. Pay attention to what you're saying. Pay attention to what you're saying. Okay, so a couple things. At 6:50, I'm going to recap this really quick, and then I'm going to leave you with the day one prompt. And please make sure you save your, set your alarm. If you can't show up at 6, become a subscriber so you can watch it. But I want you to watch these all 5 days in a row. God willing, I'll be here tomorrow, 6 a.m., same thing. Now, I'm really trying to be adamant about the 6 a.m. because I have a hard set. I gave myself 1 hour. Y'all know I can talk for 3 hours. 1 hour. So let me pause for a second and see what someone's saying. What happens when the dream is so detailed that your identity is showing? Before I even finish your statement, your identity is showing. What happens when the dream is so detailed that I use the hope it generates as escape. What questions can I start creating for soil for practical moves? You just told yourself the answer. You just told yourself the answer. When you start going into details, you can stop and pause and say out loud, wait, I usually use this as escape. So let me stop doing that. You give yourself the answers. You've got an identity that says I'm too much. I can guarantee you somewhere, somehow you've made those kind of statements. I just feel like I'm too much. I feel like I'm multi-talented. I like this and this and this and this and this. 25 different things. I can't settle on one. Guarantee you that's the conversation you're having within yourself. Your question is telling me that. Your question is telling me that. I got so much to do, so much. I bet your soundtrack every day sounds like I got so much to do, so much to do. Oh, let me go lay down. Or I can't settle in on one thing because I'm good at this and 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 good at this and good at this. How do I know which one is the right path? How do I know? All that anxiety, all that overwhelm, shut down. That's the current identity that you have right now. So again, your story is telling you you're in the right spot because we're going to shift that. Anything that you're saying to yourself that creates the absence of forward progress is an identity that doesn't align with forward progress. Anything you're saying to yourself, and then this is the other part of this that I want to share with you. Those neural pathways are formed by your repeated stories. So again, the brain requests or seeks familiar over progress. The default language is the unconscious programming. Those low vibration questions reveal your unconscious programming, and you get in front of someone like me or some other coach or somebody who can hear those things and recognize it. These are stories. These things are stories. But what happens if you have a but what happens if identity? But what happens? Because you're trying to break the system. You're trying to break the system. No, but if I go into so much detail, then I escape. You just gave yourself the answer. You just gave yourself the answer. You have the ability, you have the wherewithal to recognize, this is the same pattern. Neural pathways are patterns. Here I go into all this detail, and I know what happens. I'm going to go into detail for 20 minutes. I'm going to get overwhelmed, and I'm going to go lay it down instead of getting it up and taking the inspired action that brings me closer to it. Again, who you say you are, or what you're experiencing, the desire that you want to experience, you've got to become the person. You've got to become the person to recognize when escapism is knocking on your door. Escapism is knocking on your door. You got to greet it with, that me don't live here no more. That me don't live here no more. So conscious awareness, CA, is critical to this. Critical to this. Because again, we're all operating from some pathways that we've pre-established because they're formed by our repeated stories. So when we start recognizing the repeated stories that we tell ourselves, because what did I tell y'all a minute ago? The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question because it's running your life. And so when you're not, dear, you okay? You getting up? The front one? You good? All right. The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question. So as long as these things come up and you don't question them, you're reiterating, repeating, strengthening the pathway. You're strengthening the pathway. Neural pathways. This is the science part of it. But the good thing is you have the ability to change it. You can shift the pattern slightly. So now going forward, when your mind goes in there, you can say, wait, details. Let me just stay on one part of this. And what's the actionable step that I can take right now that positions me to experience what I just envisioned? You ask, what's the question? That's the question. Pause before I go into all these great details. I love what I'm feeling right now. I love what I'm experiencing. Let me hold on for a second. What's the 1, 2, 3 actionable steps today, right here, right now, in my current situation and circumstance that I can take right here, right now, that shifts me into action, because I know that action moves the needle. Forward progress is action, and action positions me for the fulfillment of that which I desire. Not going into details, not escapism. I have the identity of a doer. I have the identity of a doer. I recognize it. I dream. I visualize. I imagine. I affirm that I do. Period. That's an identity shift. So all this week, that's what we're talking about. Today's the story. Tomorrow, we're going to go into recognizing more of the language, identifying the language, not judging yourself, but observing it and then choosing differently. Observing it and then choosing differently. Just grab my textbook to that action. Yes. Getting into the action state. 56. I got 3 more minutes. So I'll leave you with the prompt for, you're welcome. The prompt for day 1. Y'all, thank you. I appreciate you saying thank you. Let me tell you something right quick. What's my identity? What's my identity? I'm a person who operates on my assignment. I'm a person who thinks of creative ways to demonstrate the points, creative ways to teach, because I'm a teacher at heart. Teaching is who I am. Teaching is who I am. It's my assignment. So when I show up here, yesterday I had an idea. The idea became this 5-day arc. It's 5-day arc. I take action on my ideas. I plant seeds. I have a mandate on my life to plant seeds. God makes them grow. Infinite intelligence, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent makes them grow. But I bet you I'm going to do my part and plant the seeds. And I'm going to disrupt the soil. Disrupt the soil point. Some of y'all have fear of failing. It's really fear of feeling. Fear of feeling, because you've over-medicated yourself. You have over-indulged yourself, escaped yourself, not wanting to feel what you'll feel. So you talk about fear flailing, freezing, but it's really fear of feeling. Because you say, I'm a procrastinator, but what's the feeling associated with it? It's probably inadequacy. It's probably not good enough. And those things have developed a neural pathway because you've repeated them over and over. But I'm here to tell you, the most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question. You good, dear? The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question. So here's your prompt for day 1. You'll set your clock for tomorrow. Very good. Here's your prompt for day 1. If I'm honest, the identity I've been living from is what? You take out your piece of paper, write this out before tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. So prompt for day 1, if I'm honest, the identity I've been living is from what? Is what? And then the second part, the bonus part, and here's how it's impacting my health, my wealth, and my relationships. If I'm being honest, the identity I've been living from, and it may be something as I'm a person who feels like I haven't been good enough, or I'm too much, or nothing I do is right, or I can't ever get it right, or I've been operating in mediocrity. I know I could do better, but it's just I don't feel like it, or I've been letting my feelings dictate and decide and determine whether I move forward. And I complain a lot about moving forward, or maybe I'm stubborn. I don't know, but you need to answer that question for day 1. If I'm being honest, the identity I've been living from is what? And then this is how it's impacting my health, wealth, and relationships. Because, we only have 3 problems in life. Well, it's something related to health, mental health, spiritual health, physical health, wealth, our money, or relationships, love, who our relationships with ourselves and with others. Period. If you can, no matter what your problem is, it's in one of these categories. It's in one of these categories. So if I'm honest, screenshot it. I'm going to hold it back so you can screenshot it. I know you can't read my writing, but that's the best I could do. If I'm honest, the identity I've been living from is what? And here's how it's impacting my health, wealth, relationships. Somebody put it in the comments. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you so much for doing that. So again, this is day one. We got 5 days of this. Day one was the story that's running your life. Running, ruining, I don't know. It's running or ruining. I can tell you right now, if any of these are going unchecked, because the most dangerous belief is you carry is the one you never question. If these are the soundtrack with which you meet your goal, you're walking along the path for your goal, and your mind goes, I don't know if I'm good enough. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm too old, too young. I'm afraid. All of these are ish. If the ish runs your life, let me put it this way. All this is ish. And if the ish runs your life, then you could put a it after it. Because that's what you're experiencing. That's what you're experiencing. Oh, you'll be my daily moderator. Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks. Hard ending at 7 because I can talk all day about this stuff. I live this stuff. I operate in this stuff. This stuff is me. I've spent a lot of time working on my own identity, which is why I can stand before you with absolute certainty, with confidence, with courage, and say, not even courage, it just is me. It's just me. It's like the skin I'm in. I operate on assignment, period. I operate from the posture of the student and the teacher. I'm forever absorbing information, understanding, applying the information, learning about me, learning about the world so that I can be a better teacher, so I can be a better steward of what's been given to me, of my assignment. That is my identity. Do I have fears? Sure. Do I have worries? Sure. They can get in a car with me, but I'm the driver of my life. I'm the driver of my life. The roads may be treacherous. There may be times where there's potholes or if I lived in the north, snow or what have you, wind, tornadoes, what have you, but I'm still the driver. Yes, thank you. Please subscribe. So see you guys tomorrow. Subscribers, I promise you, tonight you will get this. In its full, including the 21-day challenge that I'm not even going over inside of this. And I give y'all a lot of challenges, subscribers. I give you a lot of information. It's not for you to do all of it at one time. It's just for you to have it. It's just for you to have it. You might not do this. You might not do it. I call it the June challenge because I gave it in June. That don't mean you have to do it in June. I give y'all a lot of stuff because I know consistent daily effort changes you. I'm on assignment again. So I know subscribers, I know y'all be like, dang, you giving us a lot. You do a lot. Yes, I do. It's there. Doesn't mean you have to use it. Doesn't mean you have to consume it. Let me tell you something. When I go to Vegas, I always go to one of them buffets. I either go to Caesar's Palace or one of the others. But one of my trips is always the buffet. That don't mean I eat everything there, but I like knowing it's there. That don't mean I eat everything on the buffet, but I like knowing it's there. I like knowing I'm getting my money's worth. If I sit there and I eat a little tiny bit of every single one of those, or not all of it because I don't eat seafood, but if I eat a good portion of it, I'm full, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. I give you a buffet. Don't eat all of it. Don't try to eat all of it. You're never behind. You're none of those things. It's available and you take it, you store it on your computer and it's there. It's there for you. It's like a trusted friend. It's like an old worn out book that you can go to and go back to and pick off the shelf. I've told y'all subscribers, get a folder on your phone or get a folder on your laptop or get a folder on your device that says tools or Coach Val J tools or whatever. You ain't got to put my name on. I don't want to be in y'all computer. Just call it something. My coach or coach's tools. And when I send you these downloads, download them and put them in there so you have them. It's available. And that's what we're talking about here. So today was identity, the story that's been running your life, probably ruining your life. We're going to change that. Tomorrow we talk about the language. I went into some of it today, but we're going to go into greater detail. Tomorrow, 6 a.m., The next day we'll go over something else. But the whole thing is an identity audit. The conclusion of these 5 days is that you understand the science behind the power of the words you speak. You understand the power in your identity. You've identified who you have been operating as. You have the tools and instruction to shift your identity. And then you'll have the blueprint with which to feed the new identity so it becomes a new neural pathway, because you've interrupted the pattern of yesterday's identity and you've walked into today. But again, I want to leave you with this, and please remember this. You don't need a new life. You can't get one anyway. Ain't nobody selling, they ain't selling lives at Walmart. You don't need a new life. You need a new story about who you are in this one. I'm on your phone and then your laptop. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Somebody, I'll take it. Again, that's it. That's it for today. I need y'all to do me a favor, though. It's 42 of y'all in here. I need you to do me a quick favor, as long as you're not driving. If you are driving, focus on the road. If you're in a safe space, hit the heart, hit the like, put something in there, because that drives up the numbers. That lets Instagram know, oh, when she get up in here at 6 a.m., she teaching something. Let me let the other people know to come on in here, to saunter in here and get some, saunter into this buffet, get some of the food you like, feel good, feel healthy, feel strong enough to move in the direction of that which you desire, and then go on about your business and do it. Yeah, you don't need a new life. You need a new story about the one you're in. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate the hearts. Again, if you're driving, don't you dare hit that button. Don't even look at me. Don't even look. If you're driving, you better not even know what I got on today. You better be focused on that road. But if you're not driving and in your safe space, please hit that. Yes, thank you. So I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to receive your love. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to receive it through hearts and what have you. Message of the day. Yes, thank you. Guess what? You're going to get another one tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Y'all, you missed, I don't know how many of y'all were here for last month. Last month, I meant 31 days straight, various topics, 31 days. 31 days, one at 6-ish. One day I got in at I think about 6:52, but I didn't miss a day. I ain't gonna miss a day. I'm on assignment. I'm on assignment. God willing, I'll be here tomorrow. I'm on assignment. That's my identity. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that in my late 40s, the assignment got so crystal clear and it bubbled over so much in me that I can't not do it. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. All right, folks. What I said, a hard 7. That's okay. We gotta be at the doctor's office at 9:45. Today is, just as a side note, a week ago, my spouse got knee surgery, knee replacement number 2. Today is bandage removal. We get to look at the staples and more forward progress, because we will be coming to you soon, October, November, December, from our bicycles. I'll have a GoPro, and I'll be teaching you from us riding our bicycles. That's the ultimate goal. We looked at a quality of life we wanted to experience in our 50s. And it meant we both, and I'm still working on it, we both got to lose weight. We both got to get in better shape. We both got to take care of the physical health, things that we were ignoring. We both got to get into our wealth. Get into, because I have this saying, the wealth you seek is in your gifting. Get into our gifting mode so that we can experience the wealth we want. Have the home that we want. Have the experiences that we want. We decided that a forward progress is sweeter than excuses. Have you decided that forward progress is much sweeter, much more delicious, much more exquisite, much more remarkable, much more amazing than excuses? Because I can be laying on my meat suit right now, laying in the bed, just laying there, be saying, because I don't know. I could, and sleep is delicious. But this is much more delicious. This is much sweeter. What right now are you delaying because you haven't made the decision that you want that you experience that you'll have that for your life? What have you decided? Yeah, I'll show you the notes. One more again before I go. Today's date is June 5th. This is a quick 30-second recap. June 5th, story. Today's is day 1 of 5, the story that's ruining your life. I talked about you don't have a motivation problem, you have a story problem. Story is stuck tails operating your reality as yesterday's pains, yesterday's woes, yesterday's worries, yesterday's lack, less than, not good enough. You have an understanding now. The identity that you take on, and identity is a fact of being who or what a person is. And so your brain seeks familiar over progress. You're shifting your identity. You're stepping into your actual identity. The brain is going to push back a little bit. Why? Because it's default. The default language you speak is your unconscious program. You've been programmed. But guess what? New neural pathways are created by your repeated stories. So if you keep repeating the story of what is unfamiliar now, it will eventually become familiar. And when it becomes familiar, it'll be your unconscious programming, and it'll be the new neural pathway that leads to you becoming who you must be to have that which you desire. But guess what? You got some stories that are disguised as throwaway phrases like I'm not enough, I'm too much, now nothing I do is right, I have to be the strong friend all the time, I'm afraid of change, but it's going to be risky, but I might fail. But here's the thing with all these and other stories that you tell yourself, which again, default language. This is the default language because it's gone unchecked. But can I tell you something? The most dangerous belief you carry is the one you never question because it's running and possibly ruining your life. Here's where you are. Here's where you want to end up. You've got to become the you, which means these stories have an expiration date. You've got to, again, you're not stuck. You're loyal to a script that's expired. These have expired, friends. They are expired. They're that expired, old, nasty, vitamin D, 2% milk sitting up in your refrigerator. And every time you get ready to eat some cereal, you keep pouring from that endless supply of sludge and spoiled. And you get a stomach ache. Your body's bloated, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, you're frustrated. Why? Because you're operating in a story that's expired. The milk is expired. Can somebody put in the comments before I go, the milk is expired? Throw that out. Throw it out. Now, if I was on Zoom, I would say throw that ish out, but I ain't on Zoom. So throw it out. Go to the store, get some new milk. You don't need a new life. You need a new story about the one you're in. Tell a new story. Lastly, your prompt for day 1. If I'm being honest, the identity I've been living from is what? Name it to tame it. So you can claim the quality of life you desire to experience. And then here is how that story is impacting my health, my wealth, and my relationships, because that's the whole bulk of your entire life, those 3 things. That's day 1. If you got something from this, you better make sure you follow. If you got something from this, you better make sure you subscribe. If you got something from this, you're about to shift your life. And I'm excited for you. I'm exquisitely excited for you. It is the honor of my lifetime to come here and present this information, to operate in my assignment, my genius zone. And as long as there's some breath in my nostrils, in my soul, in my lungs, as long as my head, my brain is still operating in the capacity to be of service, to be of value, you gonna see me in the capacity. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm actually gonna this first lesson I'm going to post on my timeline. I'm actually going to post it on YouTube as well. The rest of them are going to be subscriber, but I gotta generate buzz because I want to see 100 people in here tomorrow. I want to see 1,000 people in here tomorrow because I want to see 1,000 people in here the rest of the week because that's my assignment, to plant seeds. And when you go out in the garden and when you till the lawn, you don't plant one seed, you plant thousands of seeds. So make sure you share this. Tell your friends, hey, y'all, something hot going on at 6 a.m. Eastern time. Tell your friends, tell your people about it. Tell them so that we can move this mountain. Bye.